I for the blessing of rain in the sweet by and by we shall meet on that beautiful shore by and by. In the sweet by and by we shall meet on that beautiful shore. Beautiful Father above. The microphone. Tribute of praise of the glorious gift of His love. You may need to put this in that hallowed day. In the sweet by and by we shall meet on the beautiful shore by and by. In the sweet by and by we shall meet on that beautiful shore.
That's all for prayer this night. Oh, loving Father, who dwell in heaven.
Sweet winds falling feathers to thee. Footprints of Jesus that make the pathway glow, pathway glow. We will follow steps of Jesus where they go. In the King will see all in them. His mountains have going Prince of Jesus that makes the pathway glow, and we will follow the steps of Jesus where they go. We bring reaching the word, all and believe in the Lord. Prince of Jesus that makes the pathway glow, and we will follow steps of Jesus where they go. By the burning good in the way.
Yes, we shall walk with the
The immortal Lamb, golden tree. Prince of Jesus that make the pathway glow, and we will follow the steps of Jesus where they go.
We sing one more song and then Brother Michael will direct our Bible class discussion. 756, when we all get to heaven. What a day of rejoicing that will be. Seven, 5, 6. Sing the wondrous love of Jesus, sing
His mercy and
His
grace in
the
mansion bright and blessed. He'll prepare for us a place.
When we all get to heaven, what a day of rejoicing that will be. When we all see Jesus, we'll sing and shout the victory. While we walk the pilgrim pathway, clouds will overspread the sky. Oh, but when traveling days are over, not a shadow, not a sign. So when we all get to heaven, oh, what a day of rejoicing that will be. Oh, when we all see Jesus, we'll sing and shout the victory. So let us then be true and faithful, trusting, serving every day. Yes, just one glimpse of Him in glory will the toils of life repay. Oh, when we all get to heaven, oh, what a day of rejoicing that will be. Oh, when we all see Jesus, we'll sing and shout the victory. Onward to the prize before us, soon as beauty will be. Oh, soon the pearly gates will open, and we shall tread the streets of gold. Oh, when we all get to heaven. Oh, what a day of rejoicing that will be. Oh, when we all see Jesus, we'll sing and shout the victory. At this time, Lord my God.
Thank you. Good morning to everyone. Such a wonderful occasion once again to be worshiping God in spirit and in truth. We welcome everyone to worship with us. Special welcome to Sister Isaac, who is visiting from Trinidad. Glad to have her with us this morning. Good to see Carl Young and his daughter out again. We haven't seen them for a while, but we're happy to have them. Let's see if we could pack some information in over the next couple minutes now. And we welcome those who are listening to us and viewing us on the live stream, Church of Christ, Canaan. We're always happy to have you every Sunday morning and Sunday evening in our worship session. Be fruitful and multiply. That was the first commandment, one of the first instructions God gave to Adam and Eve. Be fruitful and multiply. And our theme this month is fruits, evidence of growth. This is my personal belief. We are to go out and preach the gospel, but we do a much better job if we give birth to them. Yes? When you check the renowned preachers of the churches today, particularly, I'm referring to the churches of Christ, they technically, quote unquote, were born in the church. Jack Evans, the Barrow brothers from Diego Martin. When you give birth to people in the brotherhood, even if they stray from the pathway, oftentimes when they do find their way back, they are powerful, grounded people. Now, not every one of them, because not everything is going to be absolute. But one of the ways to evangelize is to give birth to them. Now, right now, Canaan is on a growth path. Yes. We are happy for the signals of growth, the expansion of the kingdom that is taking place. If we could have faithful brethren giving birth to children, we have a wonderful situation. No, remember I said faithful brethren. Yeah? Faithful brethren who will grow up a child in the nurture and admonition of the Lord. And so I'm elated, I'm happy. When people come and say, Brother Mike, so and so is the case, there's a joy that comes within me because that's growth. And the people who are coming, you're telling yourself, yes, we have a good chance of this child being brought up in God's will and God's word. So as we go to that, naming our children is also important. Names are important. Yes, and I want to be able to point out for you today, for you to understand the importance of names. Are you naming your baby with a good meaning? Here's how we tend to select names today. Oh, I saw this movie star and I liked the name that they had. Oh, I heard somebody's name was called and that had a nice ring. We have no idea what it means. You see? So I want to debunk that of just taking nice names. That's a method that I want to ask us to change. Not that it is wrong, not that it is a sin, but to ask us to revisit that. Right? And so when people gave names, do you even know what is your own name, the meaning of your own name? Yeah? What does Carl mean? You have no idea. How many people know the meaning of their names? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 people, 6. 6 people know the meaning of their names. Well, me, 7. Yeah? Hopefully, I have Sister Javon sitting at the back there to start so that today you will leave with the meaning of your name. Yeah? So, at that time, we're going to come down to that. Now, Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 1. This is what the Bible says. A good name is to be chosen than great riches. And this is good reputation, but it also means good name. You need to have a good name. Don't let people give you a nickname that is insulting. I was doing a class with some young boys one day, and one called the other one Cokehead. I said, who's Cokehead? He said, that's his nickname. That's what all of us call him. And he's laughing and answering to the name Cokehead. Don't let people give you a nickname that has a bad meaning. Never ever carry with it. Don't respond to it. Ignore it. If you think that is not you, of course, if you think you're a Cokehead, by all means, say hi. If you really think so. But don't let people insult you and you take it as a joke. Yes? So, the Bible says a name is not only a person's most prominent feature to others, but it is your greatest treasure. That is why learn to call your name with pride. And this is why the Bible says there is no other name given among men whereby we must be saved. The name Jesus Christ is the name that we respond to. We don't respond to a preacher to be saved. You respond to the name, and there's no other foundation that is laid that would carry such a great name. The old Roman proverb states, without a name, a man is nothing. How could I refer to you if you don't have a name? That's why it is an insult to be talking to somebody about her, and she's in our presence, and you say she. Without calling her name, you have just insulted her. Because your name is important. That's why the name of your church should be important. That's all. You can't say, well, you just do anything you want or just any church. It must have a name that has importance also. So, Ecclesiastes chapter 7 verse 1. Here's what the Bible says. A good name is better than precious ointment. In those days and even to today, precious ointment cost a lot. Very little in it costs plenty money. And he says a good name. Do you have a good name? Charmaine. What name is that? Is that a good name? Do you have your name, the meaning of your name? No. All right, well, we'll find out. Some of us may find we may need to change our name. Yeah? So, we know yours is Peter. Well, so we know for sure it won't have a good meaning. All right.
Blame my parents for this.
Adrian. All right. In ancient Israel, the name of a person was supposed to indicate some characteristic of the person. So, the characteristic of a person comes out in their name. Now, I wish I knew all of this before. Javon may have been named differently. Yeah? Jared would have been named differently. Yeah? Well, we'll find out what the meanings are today. You know the meaning of your name? Right. See, that's the error we made. We created the name that does not carry a meaning. All right. Yeah. All right. So, here's what it is linked to circumstances. Right? So, there are two things. One is your name is going to be a characteristic of the person, or it's going to be linked to circumstances, even though it is trivial, connected with birth. So, we'll find out that there are people who, during the time they were pregnant, were going through some rough situations in their life and just pass on the name to their children. And here's what the most powerful part for this to me is. Names were messages to the world. So when I say my name is Michael, I'm sending a message to you. I'm sending a message to the world. Every time I answer the phone, Michael Stewart speaking. I'm sending a message to the world. Yep? And so, Names have meanings. The name of Adam means human and earthling and comes from a Hebrew word that means earth or ground. Is it therefore coincidental? No. He was the man that came from the ground, from earth, from dirt. And God named him Adam, characteristic of the man. Dirt. That's why you need to know what is your characteristic. It is a description of a person. I describe who I am. Names carry power. Mark chapter 5 and verse 9. Pull that for me quickly there. Mark chapter 5 and verse 9. A demon came. And he says, my name is Legion, for we are many. Who was it? Mark chapter 5 and verse 9.
And he asked him, what is thy name? And he answered, saying, my name is Legion, for we are many.
Right. So my name is Legion, for we are many. Even the demon. Yes.
It came from a term from the Roman regiment. Like the army.
Because they wouldn't hear you on the live stream. Where's the microphone? Oh. This one would work well too. Yes.
Yeah, his name, Bible basically explains the name, but the origin of the name really is from the Roman army or the regiment of the army. Regiment is a whole bunch of soldiers from that particular army. So when you use the name Legion, and the Bible explains it, it just verifies the importance of the name being used and the validity of the explanation given by Mark.
Yes, yes. Right? Why did Christ ask, what is your name? There was a reason he needed, because if you get the name, you have a good understanding in those days. You had a very good understanding of what you're dealing with and who you're dealing with. One of the things that I admire about Nigerians, whenever Nigerians meet here and they introduce themselves, I always get amazed and admire the way they say, oh, so you from the north. Just listening to the name, they can tell which part of Nigeria the person is from. And Nigeria, by the way, is not, Africa is not like Tobago. It's vast, vast. You see? So, but they can tell from whence you came, who your lineage may be, and what is the line of birth that you have just by your name. We are so mixed up and messed up, we have no idea where we come from, what we are about, where we're going, because our names really don't give us a direction. Even in our ethnic group, particularly with the Negro, everybody, their name says where they're from. Their ethnicity say where they're from. Indians are from India. Chinese are from China. Negroes are from we have no idea where we're from. We have no idea. You see? So, Jesus' interest in the name likely reflects the tradition that names are important, that they carry power over people. Your name is going to direct you even if you don't know the meaning of it. So you may find, because of the way how they understood it in those days, that if your name is Legion, and whatever it is your name is, it has power over you. And that's powerful. Names indicated a state of mind also. In the book of Ruth, Naomi meant pleasant. But when she went through her rough times, she renamed herself Mara, which means bitterness. Why? Because her circumstances changed tremendously. So she did not see herself as pleasant. In fact, when they came and said, oh, Naomi's returned, they said, don't call me Naomi. Because that means pleasant and it does not reflect my name. I don't feel pleasant. I am in bitterness because I went away and I lost my entire family. All my sons died, and I'm now coming back home empty. And so he says, don't call me pleasant. Wow. Yeah? So your circumstances also reflect your name. So when you name in your child, for all those who might be naming children, or have family who naming children, could we influence them to name the child with a name that reflects something of an aspiration of that which we want? Any questions so far? We're on board, right? Mr. Candice, when you're naming your children, the rest of them. All right. During better times, a new name might indicate joy or perhaps mark a great event. So you can change your name from a name that you don't like, from a name that does not signify who you are now, and change your name to something that signifies something of good. But it's always good that we name them while they are at birth to give the direction that we want. Abraham became Abraham, meaning father of a multitude, after God promised he would be the father of many nations. So God said, because I want you to be the father of many nations, your name must reflect it. So you shall no longer be called Abram, but you shall be called Abraham. Because that's what your purpose is. Jesus. Most people don't even want to name the child Jesus. Why? Tell me why you don't generally find people naming their child Jesus. Huh? Right. They call it Jesus. Right. I will feel out of place to name my child Jesus. I personally, I will feel out of place. The rank of the name, the power of the name is so high that, let me go a little lower than that. I will have something that has a sounding like it. What would they call it? Transliteration. Something that sounds like it, and you're therefore something that sounds like it, but not Jesus, please. Yeah? So his name came originally from the Hebrew, naming Joshua, and which means Yahweh saves. God saves. Jesus' name had to have meaning. If his name had no meaning, then I would say, no, man, something has to be dead wrong. But he's meant Yahweh saves. And so it's not by accident Jesus' name was Jesus. When the name was written in Greek, it became Isos, pronounced Iusos, and also means Yahweh saves. An appropriate title for the author and finisher of the Christian faith, because if he is going to be the God that saves us, his name might as well mean he saves. 1 Samuel 25, verse 25. Name denotes natural or personal qualities. A classic illustration is of Abigail's plea to David for his worthless. Just turn to 1 Samuel 25, verse 25. This man's name is Nabal. Nabal is his name and folly is with him. Nabal really means fool. Yep? No? Nabal means fool. This is his wife talking here now. Who was it? Matthew 25, verse 25. Samuel, sorry.
Let not my Lord, I pray thee, regard this man of Belial, even Nabal. For as his name is, so is he. Nabal is his name, and folly is with him. But I, thy handmaid, saw not the young men of my Lord, whom thou didst send. Right.
This is his wife talking and said, don't ignore me, husband. He's a foolish fella. You could have just listened to his name and know he's a fool. That is what she just said. You understand me? So therefore, Nabal is a fool. Ignore him. Because his name has told you he's a fool. So he will talk foolishness. He will behave foolishness. Because he will carry his name. Because remember we said, name has power over you. So when you're going to marry somebody, find out their name. Know their name. Know what it means. Is this thing helping you all? Yeah?
So your mother explained to you that she named you Michael for a reason?
No.
Because I asked my mother, why you named me Michelle? She said that was a nice movie starting.
Right.
She told me that was it. So
Right.
sometimes the spirit just needed to do it.
Yeah. Here's what we should start doing, and I want to suggest this to the church. For your children, your grandchildren, and all of that, press for them to name the child with a name that has a direction and a meaning, and let them know it early. As the child grows up, your name is so and so, because, so that the child will start living out the name consciously, not unconsciously. That's what they did in the Bible time. They told the people their names, and they knew the meaning of the names, so they knew what the outcome would have been. You see? So, she says, pay no attention to my husband, he's a fool. By nature, not only he's a fool, but he's a fool by his very nature. Wow. Names were also prophetic, which means I can predict the future through your name. All right. So let's see how that is done with a prophetic name. Names bear symbolic or prophetic feature. An instance of this is seen in the name She-Josh-Hob, which means a remnant shall return. For Isaiah chapter 7, verse 3. And then we have Isaiah 8, verse 1. One of the longest names in the Bible. Hasty, hasty to the spoil. So you can say what you want a child to become by naming the child. So if you want the child to become a conqueror, you can give the child a name that has conquering. If you want a child to be able to be an overcomer, you can give the child a name that demonstrates overcoming. If you want a child that will be able to rise above adversity, you can also give the child a name. But look for the meaning of the name in order to be able to get it. So a name expresses some hope or aspiration on the part of parents. That's another reason we name our children. Because this is what I hope for my child. I don't know what my child will become, but this is what I hope. And so therefore, John means gracious gift of God. And so that's an aspiration of a parent. So when you name a child John, you don't name a child John because John is a nice name. You name a child John because there is a reason you want the child to be named John. Because in this one, because these are precious gifts. Samuel, meaning God hath heard. He was conceived by the spirit of prayer. Remember, his mother prayed so much for him because they expressed religious expectation on behalf of the child, and God heard her prayers after she was not being able to make a child. And she said, God has heard, I'm going to name him Samuel. It has meaning. What's your name? Right. You want to find out the meaning of your name? Right. So you'll be the first one we'll going to give you the meaning of the name. Right, Javon? So tell how your name is spelled. Where is the microphone? All right. Tell her the spelling of your name.
M-A-Y-A.
Right. So while she's looking for that, God changed names for a new purpose. Yeah? Because sometimes when God has a mission for you, God is going to change your name. And after you recognize that your life is now going to go in a particular direction, isn't it about time that you consider a middle name? Yeah? Have you known some people in school by one name and then later on you hear them using a different name? Sometimes people do that. There's a gentleman who came in to renew his driver's permit when I used to be a licensing officer. And his name on his driver's permit was Precious Dragon. Precious Dragon. So I thought he was Kicksin. And he actually produced it. Precious Dragon. Yeah. Well, I don't know if you should change it or whether that was changed.
In primary school, I had such a hard time because you have to stand up and say, my name is so white, so white, so white. So I said, my name is Michelle Phillips. So the teacher was like, what is your middle name? I said, I'm done. My mother has no middle name either. So it's no mother. So it was just it. Middle name, my mother had to come to school. And it was such a drama.
Yes.
But Trey was like, I show you about ugly middle name. Why? People always come and harass me. Why don't I know middle name? But
Yeah.
now as I'm an adult, I see why. I went to take up some US for my account. And there are 3 Michelle Phillips. I had to show them the date of birth before I can get, you know what I mean? So
Right.
3 Michelle Phillips,
Yes.
you know?
So now that you know that, you have an opportunity now to put a middle name for what you want.
Michelle Agar.
My mother used to say, boss me, I.
Writing Michelle Phillips Agar. And I'm saying, ma'am, it's not the issue. You just drop your Phillips. I said, not yet.
All right. Do you have a name? Right. So your
It actually does have a meaning and a different thing I searched. Because when I searched, when I searched her name, it gave
put it
a
to
form of May or Maya as in M-E-I-A.
right.
And it says great.
Great. Aye, give it. Yeah. You will always remember that now. So what are you to be now? Great. Everything you do must be great. Be a great person. Go after greatness. Because you can't be great and go less than great. Yes? What does Michael mean there? I just want him to know. I just want him to know what Michael means. Yeah? Who else wanted to get their meaning? Yes? You found Michael?
A-L-E-X.
Who is like God? Yes.
You need to change
Yes.
A-L-E-X-E.
Go again.
A-L-E-X-E.
E-X-Z. I have a feeling you may not find that. You just like that spelling. Beloved. All right. Yes. Are you seeing AX? No, it's not there. Do you have a middle name? Justin. All right? So, let's see if we could find Justin in the meanwhile. Yes. Justin? T-Y. Oh. All right. I think the spelling will still carry. All right. While they're looking for that, who wanted to get their meaning? Yes? Yes.
By the way, the origin of his first name is feminine. Just so you know.
Okay. They said it's a girl's name.
Just know that.
Oh, okay. What is your middle? Romina. Well, we'll find out. Who else wanted to find out the name? Carl?
Yeah.
Yes.
And your middle name too?
What's your middle name?
Fitzgerald.
That's a name, so you're
All right. Well, you look for Fitzgerald and let Javon look for Carl.
kind of know the meaning of both of them.
All right. Yes.
She just said, you want to know everything? So I was explaining to her, while we were courting, you've done for a long time. You know them on me, you know my
Right. Do we have that?
Fitzgerald just says son of Gerald.
Fitzgerald, son of Gerald.
So I think I need to search Gerald.
All right. Yeah. Do you have Carl? You have? Indra. Indra's name, yes? Beauty. All right. Okay, nicely. So everything you do must have beauty in it. What you do and how you carry yourself must be beauty. Wonderful. Right? And we want people to remember their names. Yes. Who's next? What does yours mean?
I have 3 names because my parents gave me 2 middle names.
Right. Yeah. Because somebody may want to use your name for their child.
Well, Jair means light, who diffuses light.
Diffuse light.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Jabari means fearless.
Right.
And Yusuf means God is willing or something. Or God multiplies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, God multiplies.
Okay. All right.
And my mother is just telling me Jair also means a blessing from God. So
All right. Good. Wonderful. Right. So be conscious of it. If it means a blessing from God, be conscious of it. And don't do anything that does not reflect blessings. You see? Don't get yourself entangled in anything that does not reflect that. Yes? All right. Did you find Carl?
This is the German form of Charles.
German fall of Charles. So we have to find Charles then. All right. Which one is this? A peasant or man of low birth is the meaning. A peasant or a man of low birth. Carl. Yes. Low birth. A peasant is like an ordinary person. Yeah? Of no great significant birth. Right? So all of that we've got to now look at. Is that a name that we'll want to continue? And so on. Hello, morning. All right. Who's next? Yeah? Adrian. Yes? Who's looking for Adrian? Did you get yours, Charmaine, or you're not interested?
The feminine version of man.
Of manly?
Charles. Manly, yes. One of Cleopatra's attendants.
Oh, okay. Family version of manly. Explain that.
Feminine version of Charles.
Of Charles. Right. And so what is the meaning of it? Have we found it? Manly. So it's womanly.
Yes.
Dainty. All right. Good. Yes. Candice, you found yours? Yes. Okay. Mercina. You're noting it? Or you're worthy. Worthy. All right. Nice. Peter. What is? Peter means rock. Upon this, Peter. Upon this rock. Notice when he formed the church, who was he talking to? Peter. Yeah. Yep. Right, and what Samuel means? Yeah? Sorry? Heard by God. Heard my prayer. Yes. Wonderful. Yes. Yes, Jai. Yes. All right.
it means, well, she was a queen of Ethiopia.
Right.
And it means an angel who mysteriously lost her wings. Someone who makes an entire room light up with just a smile, and a being of total perfection.
No, I heard part, but I hear people starting, so, yes. So hold it to your mouth.
Someone lovely who makes a room light up with just a smile. And the last one is a being of total perfection.
A being of perfect, total perfection. All right, okay. Right, so you're lucky you don't have to change your name. Because, yes. Find Cassie there for me, please. Elizabeth. No, not Cassie. All right. All right. For those who just came in, welcome. The theme that we're looking for this month is fruits, evidence of growth. And we're saying that we need to start naming our children as Bible used to do it, with a meaning of where we want them to go in their lives. We tend to select names because names are nice. And some of these names do not give them the kind of reflection. So today we are helping people to get the meaning of their own names so that they would be able to see. Yes. All right. So, who was, Sister Phyllis, I didn't hear you. You know yours already? Would you like to find out? All right, okay. All right. Sister Donna, did you find it? All right, so we're going to find out now Sister Phyllis's name. Who did we not find out so far? We have everybody. Did we?
Industrious striving.
Emily.
Latin.
Emily is Latin, meaning industrious, thriving. And when you really look at how Sister Emily, she's industrious. I see my wife greater in blue soup now. she would have learned it from Emmeline.
She has a baby called Zare. She named the baby Zare. What's the name of Zare?
The descendant of. How do you spell it?
E-R-E.
Right, okay. Right. What's your name? Shania. Jaya. All right. You all have your names? You know what your names mean? What does your name mean?
Smart and beautiful.
You see, she knows her name. That is so important for them to know it from young so that they start living it out. Do you know the name, your meaning? You don't know yours? All right, let's see if we could help her. Just say the name again. Spell it.
S-H-A-N-I-H.
S-H-N.
S-H-A-N-I-H.
N-I. S-H-A-N-I-A-H. Shania. Right, so let's see if we could help her to find out what Shania means. Right, and then, did we find out Sister Phyllis? Sister Phyllis, is the name hard to locate? It means I am on my way. All right, you hear that? You're on your way, which means potential. You've got all of that opportunity ahead of you. All right. What does Joel mean? It's a Bible name, but what does it mean? It means God will be willing. Yes. Have we found out Cassie? Cassie, I figure you'll need to change your name. Eh? I feel so. Yes.
And I'm Carol, and I know everybody says Carol, but I don't know.
All right. Okay. So let her know the meaning of her name now. Carol. So what we're saying here while she's looking for that, when we, in the Bible times, when they named you, it reflected your character, your personality, it reflected a mission that you're supposed to be on. And it is important for us to know this so that we can live it out. Even when the people in the Bible times had a negative name, they lived out the negative name. And God himself changed names in order to create a new purpose in a person's life. You shall be no longer called so-and-so, but you shall be called so-and-so. Sarah was one of those. Abram was one of those. Saul was changed to Paul. Yes. Cassie. Now, you could do a deed of Paul that will allow you to change your name. All right. All right. Carol. We're still waiting on Carol. Ah, yes. Manly and strong. When you look at your life, you've always had strength. Right, right. Alex? Yes? Defender and an old friend. All right. The one with the Z? Without the Z? Okay. All right. Nicely. So I really hope that this lesson helped you all today and would have you thinking. Remember, I'm not saying that you have to, but I'm saying it's a good thing to consider. Knowing the meaning of your name and start living it out. And if you're not happy with your name, and as I'm telling the young people, do not accept from anybody any nickname that insults you, that degrades you, that pulls you down. Joseph had a nickname. Did you know that? His brothers used to call him the dreamer. Yeah? So he had a nickname. So, but don't let people call you some of these insulting names that even some of these entertainers carry some names on sobriquets that you actually yourself. Vibes Cartel. 50 cents. You understand? No wonder people who follow them have a certain result in their life. Yes? So let's look at names and let's have names that lift us up. When we start naming things Gaza because of what goes on there and so on, let's start adopting things that emulate us and bring out the greatness in the people that we are. As of today, I'm now going to start, even when I look at Maya now, the name greatness, whenever I look at her, I feel I'm going to usually now see greatness because I now know the meaning. Greatness. And that is how the people in the olden days, when they looked at you and they heard your name, they automatically saw you according to the meaning of your name. All right? We had gotten Sister Phyllis? Right. Did you find it, Javon? Jai? Yeah, we might have to do a name change. Huh? It means what?
Rainbow or leafy foliage.
Leafy foliage. All right. All right. Any tree that is leafy with foliage is a healthy tree. Yeah, blooming tree, multiplying tree. Wonderful. All right. So at least you know it now. Blooming, healthy foliage. All right, so we break for 5 minutes and then we come back. I want to thank those who have been listening to us on YouTube live. Not all the discussion you might have been able to get in for those who did not have microphone, but we make a break for 5 minutes and then we come back for the General Assembly. Thank you very much at this time. Yes.